Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Krista here to do the weekly reading for the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Scorpio, if you don't know your Moon and Rising sign, check the description box for a link to alwaysastrology.com. Once you plug in your information there, you can learn your entire birth chart, and that way, if you want even further clarification for the week, you can check your Moon and Rising sign readings for the week. Or if there's something that's unclear here, they might help as well. That being said, I do hope that this appeals to you and you find it helpful. This is for Scorpio for the week of May 30th to June 6th. It is a general reading. I'll be doing a 5-card spread with the Wisdom of the Oracle cards here, and then pulling additional messages from each of the Medicine card tarot and the Healing with the Angels tarot. As a general reading, I suggest that you apply any helpful messages here to whatever is most prominent in your week, Scorpio. So that could be travel, health, business, romance, whatever is going on in your week most prominently. Hopefully these messages will be healing, helpful, or informative somehow for you. So far for your central card for the reading, Scorpio, we have the card Flexible. And this just means that whatever is going on this week, you're going to be able to get around it by being probably more than anything really positive. This is about knowing you have the skills and talents and even resources, whatever that means for you this week, to get around difficult or trying items, situations, or relationships. Wow, that's a lot of cards. I'm just gonna wait for one to jump out at a time. So flexibility here, there is an egg symbol here at the bottom of the acrobat, which is a fertility symbol. So it could be about being flexible around issues regarding fertility of the mind or circumstance, or something actually growing. This could have something to do with your garden, for heaven's sakes. But if it's about mental or emotional states, it's about giving yourself the benefit of the doubt, being gentle and kind to yourself when that's necessary, and not taking no for an answer. Being flexible means that you're not giving up, right? It means that you're willing to do what it takes. You're going to get over those hurdles because you trust that you have what it takes. In your most recent history position here, in what you're just coming out of energy into the week, Scorpio, is the card TikTok. Libra, I believe, just had this in the same position. TikTok, depending on how you're applying it to your week, Scorpio, this is both a card of time and timelessness. This is, it could be time is suspended, time is in the air, it could be time is of the essence, it could be now is the time. It could also be something you thought you had been running out of time about, that you have all the time in the world now, etc. So concepts and attitudes around time and timelessness here, like I said, you're just leaving in the past and coming out of, but it is going to throw a little bit of influence into the week. So something having to do with time here. It could be that you're meeting something again this week that you just met however many days, weeks, months ago, and here you are having to behave this way or having to be flexible this time, so to speak, or every time, so to speak. So this could just be something that you're used to doing. This is something that just needs to be done, and this is how it's done. But if this is new, this is about being flexible about how time is being used, or how time is being manipulated, or even forgotten about in terms of deadlines and so forth. In the conscious or external position card here, we have Clean It Up. This is an action card. This is about taking action, and I just mean even if this is a mental or emotional process, it just means that something needs to be tidied up and edited here, or fixed to your liking. If this is an action card, this could be about physically cleaning, this like spring cleaning. It could be about cleaning up garbage in relationships, cleaning up old hurt feelings, taking responsibility for anything that you would have or could have been part of causing a mess about or creating a mess about. This week is giving you an opportunity to be part of the solution, okay? And then in the internal or subconscious position is a change in the wind. So there's a lot of action here, Scorpio. You've got a very busy week. And again, if this is psychological or mental or emotional and no one else can see it because it's not in the physical world, doesn't matter. This is still busy for you. There's a lot going on in that head of yours, that heart of yours. However, if it is in the physical manifest world, still busy. You're still, for example, in the change in the wind, there's something that you are ready to let go of, and you are going to be looking at this perhaps for the first time in a long time or ever. You could be reaching out for inspiration here. You could have been inspired sort of accidentally here. You could even be surprised by this. But the beautiful part about all of this activity, Scorpio, is that you're flexible regardless. You have a really significantly strong core, perhaps all the time, but certainly this week. You have an incredibly strong core despite the invariable action here, a great deal of action. So this is just about which way are you going, okay? A change in the wind. Which way are you headed? Do you want to be there? Is there a sense of time, timelessness, or suspended time? Does it work for you? Could you change it? Do you want to change it, etc.? So some figuring out here. If you already know what this is for you, Scorpio, you'll know exactly how to proceed here. Like I said, I'm seeing this as a general reading, so I don't know exactly what's going on in each and every Scorpio's life. But like I said, I bet anything for all Scorpios this week is just action with a capital A, but you have what it takes, okay? So please don't feel that you don't have what it takes or that this is all going to come crashing down somehow, because it is, so much, there's a lot of thought and inspiration and preparation going on in here. And with the clean it up, like getting to the root of things, getting to the bottom of things, for example. You're doing it for the right reasons, and you're not mucking around. And the reason I know this is because your probable outcome card is by the book. This is about crossing your T's, dotting your I's, editing, finessing, polishing. This is all about polish and sticking to, I would say, what is expected. I would say here, it's not about, see how the flexible is next to by the book. This isn't about being flexible, but what you can get away with this week. And I wouldn't even bother, okay? Because this is, you're being called upon this week to actually do things by the book because it will benefit you. And it could be here, if we're looking at it sort of in a trifecta between change the wind, by the book, and clean it up. You might even be inspired by someone who's already gone through this or done this a certain way that you appreciate or admire. And you know what? You've just made life easier for yourself if that's the case, because you can look to someone else's success, or at least parts of it or phases of it, and apply it to your own life. And if that's what's going on, I think you'll be really pleased here, Scorpio. So like I said, in your central position, it's the flexible card. We've got an acrobat on the egg. We can see that she is just extremely flexible. She's not worried about anything. She has what it takes. She's obviously done a lot of practice, and she's not afraid. So, and like I said, with the egg symbolizing fertility here, this is something about you being willing and capable of bringing into the light of day. You're not phased by this at all, Scorpio. So that's marvelous, because these are like lifelong coping skills. And again, with the TikTok, this is energy you're just coming out of and into the week. There's a sense of timelessness or time in suspension, or a conversely, an attitude about, are you running out of time? So I think regardless of what's going on here, I think it's going to benefit you. Sometimes in order to kick ourselves in the butt, we need to feel like we're running out of time, right? So it could even, if that's the case for you this week, it could even be like that works for you. And it's not even a bad thing. And in the conscious or external position card, this is clean it up. This is also what other people's energy or external energies you're bringing into your week. This is other people who might even be interested in you cleaning their mess. And that's not your responsibility. So to be fair to them and you could even say like, I'll help you figure it out, but I'm not going to do it for you, right? Because that's not fair. If this is your upset and you've caused the mess or you're part and parcel of it, play your part and help out getting to the bottom of it. If there is some confusion about what to clean up or who caused what or who's doing what, etc., with your A Change in the Wind card, I would steer away from any sense of argument around who caused the mess or confusion or upset, etc. Keep that argument to yourself or vent with a friend who isn't involved with the situation, because it's just going to be one more thing to clean up, right? Whose fault is it? Really, who cares? If you really care and you need to get to the bottom of that, vent with an outside party, a third party. Whatever this is going on here, I would leave that discussion out of it because there's so many changes already going on here. And that conversation isn't one of them. So A Change in the Wind, just basically, which way are you going? What are your intentions? Are people on your side? Can you count on those people? And if you're putting them to the test this week, do it gently, do it little by little. See where they stand. There's nothing like overarchingly negative here or anything like that, but you can see that both the Clean It Up and the Change in the Wind cards have clouds. There's a little bit of gray area there. There's not a great deal of brightness going on this week, but just a lot of action. So this is just an action week for you. If this isn't something that you're in a hurry for or about, if there is a sense of timelessness going on here, please do yourself a favor and take your time this week. And like I said, with the probable outcome card is by the book. You can see a family of elephants. This is matrilineal. Elephants are actually matrifocal families. They're led by women. So this could have to do with women in your family or women in your life that feel like family. Someone has to take a leadership role. Someone has to follow. Maybe it's just about finding your place, finding your position. Maybe there's just a change in this order. But nonetheless, this week is about order. It is about following rules. It is about doing things according to a specific sequence. So I don't think that's going to be upsetting or problematic for you at all this week. In fact, like I mentioned earlier, I think it could even be a benefit because there is so much else going on. It could be like, oh, thank God, at least you don't have to think twice about that, or you don't have to examine that or wonder how to do that, or etc. I think you're just going to feel like maybe a little bit pleased that there is an ABC way to accomplish or deal with or get to the next level of something. And I think you'll actually be really pleased by that. But yeah, it's so much action this week. And good on you for remaining flexible, for being spirited no matter what. And knowing that you have what it takes. That's a large part of the human condition in getting to the next stage of life, Scorpio, is just having faith in yourself, having faith in a higher power that supports you. If you're not spiritually inclined, for example, you can look to other people who you find to be inspirational to you, or things that you find in general inspirational. It could be a concept. It could be the beach. It could be a favorite piece of clothing, etc. If that's the case, really don't be shy about reaching out for that this week. Find your comforts where you can get them, and follow those rules. So we're just waiting for a jumper card for an additional message from this deck. Usually jumps a little bit sooner than this. So I'll just let this come up with a card for you. Here we go. Aw. And then in one of your final cards here, we have the bear. The bear's keyword is introspection, Scorpio. This could be a week where there's a lot of, if this is happening internally, okay, and by that I just mean emotionally, mentally, psychologically, etc., or in your heart. This is about going within, finding the strength within, finding guidance from within about how to move forward. If it's this way and you're finding there's some upset around time or who did what and why things are the way they are this week, it could behoove the entire situation for you to just go inwards with it and not get caught up in any argument, frankly, or any discussion about who did what and whose fault it is, etc. I wouldn't even go there. That's not your job this week. And if it is on a level of self-protection, for example, the change in the wind, you feel like there's a lot going on around you and perhaps you feel compelled to contribute to it, I think you might feel more at peace if that's important to you this week, Scorpio, if you were to take some time to yourself, do some introspection, be honest with yourself about what you need, what you're willing to provide. And I find going within, especially during difficult times where there's some uncertainty here, it's actually relaxing, but it's also relieving. There's this sense of, like I said, the introspection with the flexible could be part and parcel of why you're remaining flexible this week, because you were able to go within, you were able to see a different perspective, and you're able to come out the other side with a different attitude. You're not going to get caught up in something here. So we're just waiting for another jumper here. They usually jump a whole lot faster than this. So let's get one more card for you here, Scorpio. I thought, there we go. Ooh, and intention. So this is really beautiful. Here you have both the introspection and intention cards. I'm going to suggest for the week, because there's so much going on around you, that you pay attention to both of these levels of emotion and energy this week, introspection and intention. I think this is important to go here in order to come up with this finally. And I'm also seeing that this is extremely related to the change in the wind card. This is an intention card. This is about why you do things, why you act and react certain ways. And I think by going within and being calm with yourself and honest with yourself, you will find that once you discover your intention, you don't have to figure out anyone else's. You'll know exactly where you stand, and everyone else can maneuver around that. So that is your reading for the week. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe, and that way you get notices for all of your weekly readings that are upcoming. I hope that you enjoyed the reading and it was helpful to you. Please take good care of yourself, Scorpio. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.